The sun.
What up, what up? It's your host, Treem Heff, the Rare Art Goon, and this is the 10th episode of Coachella Magazine Talk Radio, presented by Palm Springs Grip. I have to my right, Giselle and the Night Owls, Giselle Woo and the Night Owls. And can you guys introduce yourselves and your role in the band?
Of course. My name is Giselle Woo, and I play guitar and I sing.
I'm a Christian. I play guitar. Sometimes I sing every once in a while.
I'm José Ceja. I play drums and percussion. Kind of switch off every now and again.
My name is Murietta, and I play bass in the band.
Okay. And is there one more member of the band?
Oh yeah, Cesar Flores.
Okay.
He does percussion and backup vocals.
Okay. Yeah, I interviewed him the last time. I seen a picture and I was like, that dude looks familiar. Who's there? Okay.
Joe was, yeah.
So, when did you guys formulate as a band?
We formulated last summer, like in August. Yeah. So we've had Giselle Woo and the Night Owls has been, but with this crew, with this crew, we haven't even hit our 1 year anniversary, so it's pretty exciting to see what's to come, what we've done so far, and what we're about to do. So
what do you mean by it has been? It was a band before. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've just been. It's existed for almost, I want to say a decade. Had our first show in 2011 at the Date Shed, and ever since then, players have come and gone, and it's been fun because it's all just good friends and jamming out and just having a good time.
Dope. So how do you guys formulate, that's the second time I said formulate. That's the word of the day. How do you guys come up with the direction of the songs? Is it jamming out, or is it somebody that writes it, or how does it start, or is it different every time?
Right now, I have written all the songs, and I introduce them to the guys, and then they just work their magic on them. It's truly amazing. But I want to let Christian answer that a little bit.
I mean, it's cool. We have our, like she said, she writes all the music and she brings it to us, and it's kind of cool because everyone kind of adds their touches, and it's been different with different lineups. Like one song, like No Basta, has been different with Rob and James, and then this is with Jose and Marco. It's completely different. It's the same thing. Everyone adds their touch, and it turns into something else that's better than the sum, or the sum is better than what one of us could be. So that's always kind of cool.
No, basically it. Just go in and play. Like you said, Giselle brings the songs, but I, at least from when working with Marco, we try to make sure that, we add space to give everybody their time to, add a little of their own embellishment and make sure we're not too loud so you can hear Giselle too. So we just try to work together, That's probably the big part of it. Oh, Marco, you wanna?
I honestly feel like it's different every time we play. Every time we do anything, we have a section where we jam, and it jams. It could either be for 10 seconds, or it could be 2 minutes, or it could be 5 minutes, or a 10-minute jam. It can go from the short thing and then turn into a monster, and it sounds something that is quiet, and it builds up to something that's far bigger than what we thought it could be.
That's dope. That sounds like real art. Sounds like y'all was meant to formulate together.
It does feel that way.
Have you guys known each other a long time, or?
Well, I've known Christian and Jose for, at least 9 years. We've been playing since we joined the jazz program back in school. And that's how I got to know Christian. And then through that, I got to speak to Jose, because he was just this drummer guy that was behind me in class who was constantly making jokes. I was like, who's this guy right here? Him and I have the same sense of humor. Let me talk to this dude. And I knew Giselle from school. I never really spoke to her. It seemed a little daunting because it's like, oh, that's Giselle, man. She's a singer. And she does shows all over the valley. And I'm like, oh, I can't talk to her. I'm just this little fat geek over here.
And now look, we're both fat geeks together, Marco. But yeah, we basically just joined the jazz program. You know, none of us knew anything. I had been playing in a couple of groups, or prior to that, for like 2-3 years, but they're like cover bands, and it was mostly metal kind of stuff. But you know, I didn't really dive really deeply into the music or like how we are now until, you know, met Christian, met Marco, and then we just came with Giselle literally just last year, and it was just all the pieces just came together. It was like, oh wow, yeah, this is how it feels to play with actual band. Yeah, it's like, dang.
Oh man, it's like one cohesive brain together.
Yeah. Oh, here you go.
I think we played a show together last minute at like Schmitty's Tavern. It was like the closing in the parking lot, drinking whiskey. But that was like the first time we met. Like they said, you know, we went to school. We were in like the orientation for like a class or something, and we just happened to sit all next to each other and laugh at the same jokes. You know, but for sure. But ever since then, I think we did that gig. Then we did a couple pickup gigs every once in a while. We even did a gig at the mall together. That was pretty cool.
At the makeup
in the makeup section at like Macy's or something.
Just randomly like dressed in black.
Yeah.
Sunglasses, like,
in the middle of summer. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then I don't think so. I don't think anyone was actively, you know, recording that. But then after that, I think maybe a couple weeks after that, we started playing. We had a gig at the Chalk Festival. We had a lineup that came up for that. Yeah. And Janine. Yeah. And then after that, it just kind of, I think we started jamming with our bass player, James, at the time. He had just come back from Chicago. So I was like, hey, I got this gig, you know, you want to come play with us? And then after that, we brought Robin, who was your old drummer from a lineup before. And then that just, things started happening. We just started playing more, rehearsing more, getting tighter. You know, that was a good year of work. And then after that, this lineup came along, and it was just like, I don't know, everything just falls into place. You know, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens at the right time, you know. So it's kind of cool that things happened at the right time, because I was in bands with these guys before, and it's just like, it's just perfect, you know. And it's just, we all breathe, think the same thing. So yeah. Anything to add there?
See here. No, not really. Just I feel really fortunate to have met them, and I felt already like a connection because of Christian and how them three were, you know, in a band together. They have some great music. They have some awesome recordings, actually, of their old band. And I don't know, it was just like, wow. Not even 2 weeks after our drummer and bass player parted ways last summer, we had literally like 2 weeks downtime, and then we just started like performing again, and so, you know, since, you know, it's crazy how like how Christian said, things happen, and it's it feels like that. So
as far as like each of you guys' background in music, how long have you guys been into, like, you know, singing, guitar? And, like, what are some of your, like, early inspirations into getting into, like, music?
I'm like, everyone knows my life. No, I started playing at church when I was a teenager. And so that's where the love for music, I mean, I think the love for music had already existed before I could even talk. But that's where I started actually learning and playing guitar and singing, mostly singing backup vocals or harmonies for my mom, because she would sing the main melody and my dad and I would sing harmonies. I don't know, they would just come naturally to me. So that's like kind of early experience with music. Influences are just like women that are performing out there. I think probably just because I can relate to them more. Not that I like frontmen less or anything like that. It's just that it's more like, oh wow, I can do that, you know. It's a little intimidating with men that shred guitar all amazingly, but when I see a girl do the same thing, it's like, oh, I could do that. It's weird how like the brain works when it comes to that. But other than that, like just play guitar, sing, and lately I've been trying to experiment more on electric guitar, and the guys like encourage me a lot. And I mean, we all know theory and stuff, so I don't know what's holding me back other than probably just myself. So been unleashing lately, and it feels good. And I feel like I forgot what the question was.
Early inspiration, bands or musicians.
Oh yeah, like Brandy Carlisle was a huge singer, songwriter, folk artist that inspired me back in like 2009ish, because I didn't start writing my own music until like about 2009, 10. And stuff. So yeah, she was definitely someone that I had her CD when CDs were a thing.
Wow.
In my car, like the whole, yeah. I had her CD in my car the whole time. No. I had a Alanis Morissette tape though, but that's exactly right. So yeah, that's kind of a little
Giselle
bit.
Woo origins.
Yeah, Alanis Morissette, you know, Selena, anybody that with an iconic voice, I guess. I don't know if you want to answer.
Ooh. Damn. That's going way back. I mean, I started, I was in middle school band. I played the clarinet. Yeah. And actually, I started in 5th grade. So that was kind of like the first time I kind of dabbled in music. And then after that, I mean, I stopped after middle school. I picked up the guitar in like 7th grade and forget about it. I dropped clarinet. That was it. Yeah. It was just like home, guitar, school, sleep, you know? And
You could tell.
Just lots of rock, man. I remember doing this like tutoring session, and it was next to Best Buy. It was like Sylvan or something like that. But I remember I would always save up my lunch money and get an album every single time I went at Best Buy next door, like, you know, Led Zeppelin 1, Led Zeppelin 2, and then I'd learn these songs and then come back and like buy. I was always excited for trying to dig deeper into that, like lots of stuff like that, lots of blues, rock, lots of Guns N' Roses. Appetite for Destruction, I learned that whole album, and my poor mom, I played that album front to back every day after school for like 4 years, you know, like every solo, so thank you, Mom, sorry. You know. Van Halen's huge for me. I went through, just like I said, like Appetite, Van Halen 1, Van Halen 2, Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, just huge, just everything about those albums, like, you know, it's embarrassing, but, you know, standing in front of the mirror, jamming out, you know, yeah. You know, being a little kid, you know, yeah. But that's pretty much for the most part for like influences in earlier guitar playing. Is when I went to school, I did a lot of jazz stuff, and after that it kind of branched out into now, and nothing's off limits, you know, reggae, hip hop, everything has value as far as music. Like the more you listen, the more you take yourself out of what you normally listen to, the more I feel like it's easier to express yourself creatively when you have more things to draw upon, even if they have nothing to do with what you're doing. Like, you know, I listen to like Gucci Mane, and I also listen to like Beethoven, and they might not have anything to do with each other, but at some point you're going to take something from both, and there's no unvaluable music. I mean, there's stuff that you might not like, but it's not that it doesn't have value, it's just you don't like it, you know. But definitely early influences were rock. And then later just kind of being more open to everything. Soul, hip hop, reggae, there's just so much out there. So much good music.
Mine was kind of similar too. I mean, as a kid, my parents loved like oldies, new school hip hop, R&B. Big. My dad was a big Tupac fan actually, and NWA. But yeah. So Snoop Dogg and stuff like that too. Yeah. But yeah, actually I grew up in LA. I was like right next to Compton, so I have the background, I guess. But no, but I guess in playing an instrument, I kind of joined in late. I started like 17, but I had a lot of friends, especially like in high school. They gave me like Metallica, Slayer, Avenged Sevenfold, Megadeth. Megadeth was probably like my biggest, like just like Rust in Peace. Front album, same thing, and yeah, again, just like Christian said, sorry mom, had a lot of that. And I think when I picked it up, I met my first instructor, a guy's named Rocky. He was a big metal double bass player, so I just started with that. And yeah, I mean, after that, when we went to school, listened to a lot of jazz. I mean, I think more than anything, the guy I listened to was Art Blakey. Like, that's just immense power, but he can really dial it back too when he need to. So now it's just like he says, we try to get influence from everything. I love all types of music, and it's nice to be able to like, hey, we need a, like Mario said, bossa nova backbeat. Oh, I mean, don't know what that is, but I'll give you something that might sound something like that, Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of mainly it. I mean, now I like more chill music. Kind of little, yeah. I listen to a lot of Alina Barez. Like that's, yeah, I love her stuff. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's an amazing album. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you kidding? Yeah. Oh heck yeah. 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 When I got back, I was like, do it. Yes, I made sure.
Well, for me, it was, I mean, ever since I was a kid, my whole household was full of music. My mom and dad were, if my mom was listening to cumbias while she was cleaning, and I'm just there getting in her way. My dad is listening to Los Tucanes de Tijuana while he's fixing up his truck, or some corridos. It was always something, music always around. My grandfather played guitar. My uncle played guitar. They would constantly sing at these family gatherings that we had at the end of every week. And it would go from 8 p.m. all the way to 4 in the morning, and my little 9-year-old butt sitting there just going, can you guys stop? I want to go to sleep. But at the same time, I was like, okay, everyone's having a good time. And then that's made me realize, okay, this music is keeping them up, or something's keeping them up. But I started super late in life when it came to getting into music, to playing music. I was 18, I believe, and I begged my mom on my 18th birthday, can I get a guitar? I just want a guitar. Why do you want a guitar all of a sudden? I don't know, I just want to play a guitar. And it was from, I forgot who it was in my family. They had a Santana DVD, and I watched it, and it made me want to go, hey, I like what he's doing. I kind of want to do that. And that was one of the things that I listened to constantly was Santana. It's corny to say like a greatest hits album changed my life, but I used to listen to Santana's greatest hits, and I was like, all right, Europa, let me learn that lick. Sabor a mí, let me learn that lick. Black Magic Woman, let me learn that lick. And I learned the album. Now I completely forgot it, so don't ever ask me to do that stuff. But I learned it like crazy, and from listening to that, I remember in an interview Santana said, oh, B.B. King has this something, and B.B. King just has this way of playing. And I was like, oh, okay, Santana listens to B.B. King, I should listen to B.B. King. So I listened to B.B. King. I remember seeing videos on like YouTube. I was like 18, 19, him playing with Buddy Guy. Oh, who's this guy named Buddy Guy? Let me listen to him. Are you serious? What are we doing here then? So I remember just constantly like trying to learn these blues licks, these old songs that, I mean, I don't have to say sorry, Mom, because my mom actually liked it. I never played metal or anything like that around the household. It was always like Eric Clapton or B.B. King or Stevie Ray Vaughan or something that my mom was like, hey, that's pretty groovy. I like that. Yeah. Ray Charles. And yeah, I started super late. And then when I got into school with these guys, jazz was constantly jazz. My one of my biggest influences when it came to that was Wes Montgomery at the time. and I try to emulate that sound. Could never play with my thumb the way that guy did, but I tried it. Try to do octaves the way that guy did, never came out the way he did. And then I kept evolving, and then now it's forget it. It's not even one thing, it's everything. Especially after playing with Giselle, it's transformed from, oh, I'm just a jazz guy. This is all I listen to. I listen to Art Blakey and Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker. No, now it's like, hey, well, we're going to do a cumbia gig, so listen to all the cumbias that you can. Okay. We're playing corridos as well. Okay, I got to learn how to play that. We're doing reggae. Oh, jeez, man. Okay, this is another style I got to learn. We're doing a rock and roll song that has a bossa nova backbeat. Learn how to do that. Is there anything else? Do I have to write a list? But yeah, no, it's definitely after playing with Giselle, it went from one thing to, man, I try to draw inspiration from everything nowadays. Yeah. So that's why I constantly bug these guys. I'm like, hey, do you guys have any albums? I'm gonna start bugging you guys about that too.
Dang, so you guys got the whole spectrum down.
All over the place.
That's why it clicks like that. I can see. So do you guys have any shows coming up? Any projects coming up? And what can we expect out of like a show for someone who hasn't never seen y'all perform or something? Like, what can we expect? I heard like this y'all do different types of shows, like different music is played. So yeah, what can to someone that hasn't seen y'all, what can we expect it? What are some shows coming up? And
Okay. The biggest show that we have coming up, and actually like probably the only one in April, is we're gonna be performing at Cella. It's between the Coachella weekends. It's going to be on April 17th at the Full and Winder Auditorium at the Riverside Fairgrounds. We're opening up for Cola Boy. He's from Oxnard. And Mon Laferte and Los Tucanes de Tijuana. So that is kind of like our biggest show ever yet, and we're so excited about it. So April 17th, remember that date. We're doing a final May 4th the showcase for the Coachella Valley Weekly showcase thing that has been going on. It's a little competition thing, you know. Someone's like, why are you entering another competition? Like, let us win. No, let someone else win for a change. No. So that's the biggest ones. For them to what to expect is to be taken on pretty much like a roller coaster of emotions, but like in a performance, not like, you know, it's like we have ballads, we have slow rock, we have blues rock, we have desert sounding rock, we have some Spanish influence a lot. We sing in Spanish and in English, and it's just fun to see us. A lot of things that comments that we've gotten are that that you could just feel the chemistry and the energy, and that it looks like we're having fun up there, and that's how it is, you know. It is genuine, and I think that's why people recognize it, you know. And that's exciting when we get comments like that. So I mean, that's what I think is like, just expect to be moved, you know, in a good way, in a sad way, in a hype way, I don't know, but something like that, in an irie way. That's what I think. But it's been nice to hear what they have to say, because I'm kind of like, for the first time hearing them what they have to say. If you don't mind, I can.
Cool. We also have an EP dropping. We recorded it up at the Desert Rhythm Project Studios. We're gonna have it mixed and mastered by Gene Navarro Jr. We don't have a date set yet. We will soon, but
We're releasing a single, and that should be coming before the 17th.
there you go. So at least a single from that EP before the 17th. For what to expect, I don't know. Just to add to what she said, I feel like we always take a lot of care in pacing the flow of the show. I think we have so many, like she said, we have reggae, we have desert rock, we have ballads, we have, we even have like almost like a country doo-woppy kind of song. But just, I think pacing the way it all fits together, it's seeing the performance as one, I think, is really important to all of us. Make sure everything goes seamlessly and it makes sense. Like, you don't want to have a love song that goes straight into like a crazy headbanging, kind of song, So I think just to add to what she said, that's kind of what to expect too. People on fire and backflips, juggling. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Not juggling.
Not yet. Mostly at least for me, what I kind of like feel every time we bring to from again everything that they're saying too, but it's more energy kind of. We try to go with every show and say, what, guys, this is what we do, so let's hit it hard, and let's just go. I mean, just because me personally, I like going to shows and getting lost in the band, and I think that's one thing I want to do. I at least try to do it, or push, or we all try to like push each other and just be like, this is gonna be our show. Let's pretend like, okay, we know what we're doing, and we give it everything that we go. And I think out of all the groups I've played, this is like one of the ones that like every single time it's like always I even come out like, wow, did that just happen? It's like, I think even when we played at the Brawley, that was one that was like, oh, okay, this was fun, great, and everything. Then we play at the CV Brewery all of a sudden, and we're like, what the heck just happened? It's great because it just feels like all of us just connect, like this wonderful momentum that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's like, hey guys, we're here, if you like it or not, either way you're gonna feel something. I guarantee that right now.
Yeah, no, just adding on what Jose said. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard not to play in this band and not have fun, and that's one of the things that we try to do constantly, is have fun with each other, because it'd be depressing if you go to see a band and they're all sad up there playing this rockin' tune, and they're all mad at each other, and it's we're all just trying to have fun. We'll look at each other, we're constantly making little musical jokes that we kind of hope the person next to us hears, and it's always been something that, okay, we have this energy up on here, and we hope that people have it out there. And for the majority, every time we've had a show, every time we had any type of no matter how small or how big it is, it's always been, we're going to give it our all. The most important thing is we're going to have fun, because we cannot be depressed up there, because it's not going to work. But that's the most important thing, is to have fun, and hopefully that rubs off on the crowd. And I think we all unintentionally do that. We don't really sit off to the side and go, guys, remember, have fun, make sure the crowd feels it. No, that's never the game plan. But it's always like, hey, listen, we're here to play, give them a good hell of a show, and have fun. And every time we've done it, I mean, I feel like it's rubbed off. Even when we play our little ballads, people are still just kind of smiling up, looking at us, and then we kick into some rockin' tune, and it's like, oh, okay, all right. So yeah, that's what to expect from a show. To have fun.
Yeah, that's perfect. I gotta pull up now. Yeah, damn.
Where you been, man?
Damn, hey, I don't know where I've been. But I have so many questions written on here. You guys answered every damn thing on here. I probably only asked like 3 questions, but y'all went through the whole damn thing. That's how I know y'all are one. Y'all are a full band. Look at all this, man. I probably only asked 3 questions. But shout out the social media, YouTube, how people can find you,
Right now, our big one is Instagram, at Giselle Woo and the Night Owls. And we're on Facebook and stuff as well. We're all very busy, and we're our own promoters. So, it's not like this constant stream of like, hey. So Instagram is the fastest thing that you can look into and be like, oh, they're playing here, or all these photos from this place, or and it's just easy to tag and give people credit as well. So Instagram, at Giselle Woo and the Night Owls, and We have Coachella Gold is on Apple iTunes, so you can go check that out. It's on Spotify as well, just mostly anywhere. Yeah, Spotify. You can. It's like on YouTube or something as well. I don't know. It's just all over, and that's pretty much it. And just keep an eye out for new music. We've got a Twitter @and the Night Owls, because Giselle and the Night Owls didn't fit, so. But no, it just didn't fit. So, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and just mostly just us. You'll find our personal Instagrams handles and our page as well. All of us are all just cool people.
I can see.
I can see this was episode 10 of Coachella Magazine with Giselle Woo and the Night Owls. I'm so glad I didn't have to do no work right now. Y'all hooked me up. I'm just sitting here feeling hella inspired right now. But shout out Palm Springs Grip, and pay attention, stay on the lookout for these talented artists.